Hello, hello, hello. Happy Friday, everyone. Hope you're doing well and can hear me. Well, I check everything turns green and wait for someone to say yes, they can. Welcome to the Friday night live stream. Welcome to Aquarium Adventures, where we have a bit of a chat, a bit of a laugh, talk about the rubbery week I've had so far. Sorry, I saw that comment. That was a terrible pun. I'll start, as I always like to start, by saying hello to everyone. If you're new here, this is the Aquarium Adventures channel, where generally I put out videos about all things fishy. But Friday night, a little bit more loose of a scope. We can talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about. I'll tell you what I've been doing this week. You tell me what you've been doing this week. So let me know in the chat what you've been getting up to, what fishy plans you've been having, what you've been getting up to. It doesn't have to be anything fishy. And cloud in ear, good, that's what we want to hear. So, hello everybody, who have we got so far? I've missed Rocky, I've missed NGW, hi from Doncaster, hi from Sheffield. How are you? My Twidget app started a bit later than some of you had commented. As Noodle Sandwich says, this is a YouTube channel dedicated to all things fishy. If you have stumbled in here from the dark corners of Tinterwebs, if you wouldn't mind going down there, there's a subscribe button. You might like some of the videos that I put out, you might not, but subscribe anyway, it doesn't cost anything. That'd be nice. We've also got the Discord server, which link is up there. A growing community where it's a little bit more accepting than the toxic Facebook groups that you might have experienced in the past. You can share pictures, you can ask for advice. We are doing a couple of things which are kind of being managed through the Discord server. So we have the subscriber tank, where we ran a few competitions, a few polls in the last few weeks, deciding what kind of tank I was going to make next for you guys. So you get to choose what fish has gone in there, what type of tank it was going to be. There might be more about what other things we do, like decorations or companion fish or filtration or who knows what. But it's where everyone gets to chip in, throw your ideas into the ring, and we can discuss what we're doing. So far we've chosen Congo Tetras, we've chosen a biotope. I've been doing a little bit of research this week to try and figure out where we take this next and what the tank might be and things like that. So Discord server up here, join in, throw in your tuppence worth. But there's places to share pictures of your tank, ask questions, put in some live stream ideas. If you've got something you'd like to discuss, stick it in there and we might pick it up and talk about it tonight even. Who knows? Why am I talking about this? Yes, so Discord server, we've got that going on. If you want to subscribe, I keep saying, oh, please subscribe, it really helps me out. It doesn't actually help me out, it just makes me feel warm and fuzzy and makes me want to make more videos, let's put it that way. Mind you, if 1,000 of you go and watch a video, I might get £1, so that would be nice. That's not actually true, but anyway, we've got lots of things going on at the moment. I've got Mega Tank. Mega Tank is so let's put this in perspective. Mega Tank, to me, it's an 8 by 4 foot tank that I'm building myself out of wood. So I've built the stand, I've built the tank, I'm now lining the tank. So I released a video, I think it came out at lunchtime today possibly, which is talking about what I've done so far to the tank and the latest developments of trying to use the liquid rubber. But 8 by 4 foot, for me, that's the biggest tank I've ever owned. It's probably the biggest tank I will ever own, unless I convert the whole fish room into a tank. And I keep thinking about this as if I've just smashed my hand off the desk. That was nice. I keep thinking about this as if it's some kind of epic, once-in-a-lifetime, massive, public aquarium-sized tank. There's no getting away from it. It is a big tank. But someone who joins us every now and again on the live stream, Alex G, commented earlier, saying, oh yeah, great, I like to see you experimenting a little bit there. And if you go and look at his tank, he's got something, I think it's like 30 odd feet long. It's taking up an entire floor, entire basement. It's like 8 feet tall, 30 odd feet long with a turn in it. And you're like, no, that's a big tank. So mine's big, but let's put some perspective in it. There are a lot bigger. So we'll talk about Mega Tank a little bit. We've got the fish room that I'm still continuing to set up. I've still got jobs to do in the fish room. I've got lots of things that need fiddling and need sorting that aren't quite right. I think my next video is probably going to be about wastewater and what I'm trying to do to get rid of wastewater, or manage wastewater, shall we say, as well as all my little tanks. So I've got a little tank over there. I might be getting another little tank that I've set up for my daughter with the betta fish. Might get another tank for the Congo Tetras that we're talking about for the subscriber tank. So lots going on, lots happening. It's not a struggle to keep on top of it, but it's keeping me busy, let's put it that way. I've done that thing again where I've started the stream and I've still not had my dinner yet. So hopefully the belly will sustain me. That's why I'm built like this, built for comfort, not for speed, to sustain some hungry periods. But join me, settle in. Tonight we're back on the Heineken, good old big bottle of Heineken. Grab a tasty beverage, healthy snack, whatever you want to do. Settle in. Let me know what you're up to. Let me know what you've been getting up to in the comments. Any questions, if you would put at Aquarium Adventures, they kind of stick out a little bit more, or one of my excellent mods, say hello mods, and say thank you to all our mods for all their tireless work. They will hopefully remind me about it. And if I miss any questions, don't be afraid to ask. So, would you like this, by the way? I've upgraded this. I'm not sure it's going to work. Let me find a comment that's got an emoji in it. I was trying to find something that would... no, it hasn't worked. Okay, never mind. I was hoping to upgrade to something that would show the emojis rather than just the text of the emojis, but it makes your subscriber pictures come up a little bit bigger, I suppose, so we can see you there. So that's Noodle Sandwich, one of our... I think are you the latest mod, the newest mod? Responsible for the downfall of my channel, because as soon as I made a video about a pot noodle, my channel tanked for about a year. But hey, I won't hold that against you. Me witchy ways. How's everyone tonight? I'm well. Courtney's here, another of our mods. Rocky's in. Dad. That's me, Dad. Fully decked out in Aquarium Adventures merch. Available at all good websites called Available at all good websites. Well, just one website, and it's not particularly good. aquariumadventures.co.uk for all your merch needs. You can get jumpers, hats, shirts, food. Fish food. Fish food isn't merch, but you know what I mean. You can buy stuff. Let's put it that way. We'll probably do some giveaways as well tonight, because I know that's why you're all really here. Mary's here, Michelle's in, Danny Boy 1587, good to see you. Urban, hello. Again, if you're on the Discord server, you'll know Urban has just started a, what am I trying to say? A thing, the pictures with the phone and the filters. Instagram, that's the one. So he's just started an Instagram channel. So if you have an Instagram channel, jump on Discord, tell us all about it, share it in the appropriate channel, which name I can't remember. I'm trying to look and see what it's called now. Promotions, socials, something like that. Because everybody likes looking at some fishy pictures, don't they? Don's here, Rob's here, Stuart's in. Clinking beer mug. Hi everyone. Sharpie's here, William Buckley, even Nightbot. Good old Nightbot. Nice to see you, Nightbot. Don't upset too many people tonight, will you? Right, Kaylee. Now that I've started reading out names, I don't like to miss anyone out. It just seems rude. Tam and Belzel. We will talk about this later. Definitely covered in liquid rubber. That's just Sudie's liquid rubber that I just still can't get off. What a rubbery week we've been having. For me, yes. I don't know if you follow me on Facebook, so I have a Facebook page. And if you are on Facebook and you're not following it, go over there, because I'm almost at 1,000 and something happens at 1,000. I only know this because Facebook keeps going on about it. It's like every 20 minutes they send me a message going, oh, you're nearly at 1,000 followers. Big things are on the horizon. I don't know what, but, you know, we all have to have targets. But I posted, in fact, can I show you? Maybe I can show you. Little face. This is this was the thumbnail I was considering for today's video, which probably 3 people in chat will get. If you recognise who this character is, 10 points for whoever recognises this character, or the show at least. But yes, this week I have mostly been applying liquid rubber. And I'm now bored of applying liquid rubber, and I think I've still got another week to go. Yeah, but we'll talk about that later. I say that a lot. I realise I say that, oh yeah, we'll come back to that, and then I never do. So remind me, and we'll come back to it. Loud and clear, that's what we want. All good, loud and clear and loud. Christine Lamont, hello. Scott's in, don't forget to hit the like button. Quite right. Become a member. Oh yeah, shall we do some shameless shilling straight away? So, as well as clicking the subscribe button or going and buying a t-shirt or some fish food, you can also support me by clicking the join button, which is either there or there, or maybe it's up there, depends what device you're watching on. There are 2 levels of, I'll do it that way so as not to insult anyone. There are 2 levels of membership you can join, which is just sheer support, and all you get there is you get emojis. I keep threatening to make extra content, but I struggle to make as much content as I do. So if I ever get made redundant or something like that, there'll be extra content. But I'm kind of maxed out as far as content goes at the moment. But occasionally I put up the odd picture or little story or something like that, which is just for the members only, or they get something a bit early, maybe something like that. But you get access to all the emojis and things like that. You get a nice little icon next to your name when you comment on any of my videos or in the chat. But if you go for the hero adventure level, you get a 10% discount off anything at aquariumadventures.co.uk, which is my website where I sell some fish food or some merch. For instance, this is my favourite at the moment. It's my favourite at the moment, you might tell, because it's been in the last 6 videos. It looks like I've never changed clothes. But it's the cock hoodie. But you can buy this in zipped hoodie, pullover hoodie, t-shirt, polo shirt, multitude of colours. It's proper embroidery, it's not a sticker or anything like that. It's good stuff. So yeah, check that out if you want to and become a member. It's all good. It's all good. Paul's in. William's got some angelfish. Do you know what? I've been looking at angels again. Ultimate angels. That's a thing I've been thinking about. I'll come back to that in a bit later. Say that again. Sharpie's up to water changes, historic ecclesiarchal research, usual weirdness. Yes, Sharpie's Fish and Phantoms. I think the name says it all. If you don't know about his channel, part fish, well, mostly bristlenoses, part wandering around graveyards and talking about ghosts and things like that. Tam and Bell Cell watched Megatank Part 4 earlier, loving the series. Glass Next. Yes, Glass Next. This is the bit I've been most nervous about. We'll come on to that in a bit. Noodle's getting all his mod duties in early, so as when he feels the effect of the rum, he doesn't have to worry about it. There you go, there's a question for me. Courtney, have you made any more progress with the smaller tanks in the fish room? Ish. So, oh, something's happened. Kaylee Blackshaw's become a member. Thank you very much. I have. So it's hard to describe, I suppose. So if you have watched the Megatank video, Megatank takes up one big corner of the video, and then along one wall, I've got a 4-foot rack with 3 shelves on it, and the other wall has 2 6-foot racks with 2 shelves for fish. Let's call it like that. The 4-foot rack, I've got 4 smaller tanks right at the top, 4 smaller tanks in the middle. They've all got like endlers and fry and things like that. I've just started. I haven't filled them, so I've just started getting things ready. So I've filled them all with sand. I've put in some wood, some stones, ready for water. I need to organise some light. Courtney Smith has become a member. Thank you very much. So I need to organise some lights. I've just had a load of heaters delivered, which will, not entirely sure I'm going to need to heat them. Depends what I want to keep in there. But I've got them ready to set up. I've also So I had Humphrey in his tank on that one. Rob Barry's become. What's going on? Thank you very much, everybody. Humphrey's got his big tank, and the angels were next to it. So I've moved the angels onto the 6-foot rack. So it kind of goes discus, angels, Sterbai corridoras, and snakeheads on one shelf. Underneath that's more discus and the Congo Tetras. And then I've got another fish I can't remember the name of now. What am I forgetting? So I've moved another fish into the other 6-foot rack into one of those tanks. But they will eventually... It's the... I want to say lampreys, but that's a completely different fish. It's the... What do you call it? Can't remember. Totally forgotten. Totally blanking on the name. One of the other fish that I got at Fishman Aquatics a couple of weeks back. That's going in one of the smaller tanks up there. So I haven't filmed any of that because it's just been moving things around and chopping and changing, but we will do a bit of a fish room update because a few things have changed since the last time. My biggest priority at the moment is dealing with water. I want to get my auto water change set up where I can, and I want to be able to get rid of water in some... I just feel dirty putting it into the drain and the waste pipe. So I've bought one of those big 1,000-litre IBC tote container things, so as we can use it in the garden when the summer comes. Although it's peeing down with rain at the moment, so I don't think summer is the biggest concern at the moment. I've just seen this comment as well. I was watching the video and all I could think about was the poor whiteboard about to be trapped in the corner. I was thinking of putting little Easter eggs in there and maybe leaving a code and some kind of mystery that if you solve all the riddles at the end you get some kind of prize. But yes, don't worry, it can be rescued. It's not attached to anything. It's just stuck there. I was imagining having like a little workbench set up, which I've kind of taken up that area now, where I could do projects and diagrams and talk about things like, oh, this is how a nitrogen cycle works, and draw it out for the camera as if I'm some kind of teacher, which I'm not. So I'm not sure how I'm going to use that whiteboard now. I might give it back to one of the kids. Clearly a common thought. Any recommendations for magnetic algae scrapers that don't cost the earth for 15mm glass? No. Basically, you're in a similar... I'm having a similar thought. All my algae scrapers that are magnets... I mean, I've got one that's the Mag Float, and they do a big one, which apparently does do quite thick glass, and I think it's great, the Mag Float. But I think I've got 12mm glass in one of my aquariums, and it barely hangs on to that, so I'm not too sure. Still trying to source dwarf chain loaches. Seems quite difficult to get hold of at the moment. I've not seen them for a dwarf chain loaches. I don't know what a dwarf chain loach is. I'm going to have to look up that. Dwarf. I think that might just be what I knew as a chain loach. They're quite cool. Yeah, so Simon's here. Oh, look at that. Rob's thanking all the mods. Thank you very much, everyone. Tam and Bell sell drinking iced coffee, watching Married at First Sight in Australia on Married in First Sight Australia on TV with the wife. Also, you and my phone at the same. Multitasking. That's what we like to see. Well done. It's a show I've never watched, I must admit, Married at First Sight. I do like some trash TV every now and again. Right, let me see if we can get a little bit closer to the bottom. If I haven't said hello to you, I'm not being rude, I'm just trying to skip through the chat a little bit. Miniskins18, hello. Fast show, yes, congratulations. So, where is it? This was... I can't remember the name of the character. but he would come out and go, "This week I have mostly been eating bananas," or something like that. And when I was 12 or however old I was when the Fast Show was on, it was hilarious. So it's become a bit of a meme where this week I have been mostly insert thing, and it tickled me, let's put it that way. Remember to use your membership milestone super chats. They are free. Press the $ and see if you have one to use. Oh, I didn't even know that. Is that why every now and again? This explains much. Right, okay, I know where you are. Scorchio. Yes, that was the same one. How's the tank behind you? Last time I heard it had an algae issue. It did have an algae issue. I've not got the zoom cap. Oh, I could maybe... I was going to say I could maybe use your phone to show it. It still has an algae issue. That's the long and the short of it. But your husband... How lazy am I? I could have got up and just walked, but no, I'll do that. I had high phosphates, so your husband gave me this. I mean, no, I paid full price for it, honest. Why is it not showing up? It's the Quantum... what is it called? Phosphate remover. Is it Quantum? I think that's the brand. God, I'm terrible at shelling. Yeah, Quantum. So, there you go, Quantum. You will focus. I know you will. Go on. There you go, Quantum phosphate remover. So, I've literally followed the instructions, only lightly dosed, if anything. And it's got rid of most of it. Might be able to see little tiny bits, debris there, and well, this is hard. And there. So there's little remnants still there, but other than that, it's done really well. Aquarium Adventures approved. I've used Phosguard in the past to similar effect, but that's effectively little. They're little beads, pearls, whatever you call them, and you put them in a little bag in the filter. This is much less faff, it's just a liquid. You just dose it and done. How much did you pay for the IBC? I paid the grand total of £70 to get a potable water one. I don't know why I wanted a potable water one, because I'm going to use it on the garden. But I paid £70 delivered. There was lots of places saying, yeah, 20 quid, 30 quid. But I had to go and get it, and I couldn't fit it in my car, so I paid 70 quid. I've missed a couple of vids on your big tank build. Well, they're still there. Please feel free to go back and watch. I've even gone to the trouble of creating a playlist so you can watch them all. But I am going to be putting in glass. So the tank itself is wooden, and it's going to have a glass window. I've been hovering over the buy button most of today, thinking, I'd be really upset if they dropped the prices next week. But the liquid rubbering is taking a lot longer than I thought it was going to take, so I'll order the glass next week. The place that I think I'm going to order it from does delivery in like 3 days, so it'll be here next week if I order it on Monday, or I'll know on Monday how many more quotes I need to do. Sorry, a little bug attacked me. What's your thoughts on putting non-fish related content on your channel? We recently uploaded our first 2 fish-based videos after months of mostly reselling videos, and enjoy it. Well, I jokingly referred to Noodle Sandwich earlier. It's got to be about a year ago. I can't even remember how this came about, but one of the live streams, I was like posting what weird food do you... I can't remember what it was, but it's something around what weird food do you eat, and somebody suggested a noodle sandwich. And I was like, what? A noodle sandwich? Like, yeah, pot noodle on a sandwich, on a roll. So that's not a thing. And it was round about the time that I'd just crossed over the 10,000 subscribers line. So I made a little special of, right, this is what the subscribers asked for. I'm going to make a noodle sandwich. So I made a stupid little video of making a pot noodle, putting said pot noodle in a sandwich, putting it in a roll to see if it was any different in a roll, and then eating it. And my channel completely tanked, to the point where I'm only now getting back to the same levels of views that I was at the time. And if you watch all these how to do YouTube videos, they all say that kind of thing. You have to stick to your niche, let the algorithm do its thing. Once you've got, I don't know, if you had 1 million subscribers, yeah, make whatever the hell videos you want. But if you're trying to build your channel, you have to stick to your niche. They say you have to stick to your niche. And it certainly seemed to be true. So I made that video, and I went from getting kind of 1,500 views a video in the first few days to 500 views in the first few days. And I've only just built it back up again. So that took a while. And that was a lesson learned. Don't make videos outside of your niche. So I'm trying to keep it to just fishy content. I've often dabbled with or thought of, should we make different, because I've got other interests. I like tech stuff. I'm into cameras and microphones, computers, all these good stuff. But I just don't want to risk it. I do have another channel that's just me, which was me fannying about, so it's got videos of everything like me and my friends playing poker years ago to reviewing dash cams and things like that. But I struggle enough to stay regular. I struggle enough to keep putting out regular content on this channel that it's just not worth it for me to do it in another channel. So for videos, I'll stick to fish. And I use the live streams for that little outlet of, well, we can go off script on a live stream because people make a choice to be here. It's not necessarily an algorithm driven format, the live stream. So if I'm the host and you're the audience asks question, host answers question. Doesn't really matter what it's about. So the channel branding or the channel theme is obviously aquarium, so it's fishy stuff. So that's as much as an audience as I'm ever going to reach. God, I've lost the power of speech tonight. But we can talk about whatever we want here, so that's where it gives us a little bit more leeway. But if you're early on enough in your YouTube journey, play around with the format, decide what your niche is going to be. There's lots of advice out there saying things like, concentrate on something, give it a year, hammer in on that particular niche, and then start to expand it. There's only so much I can expand this particular niche because it's fish keeping. So yeah, I might get into the salty side of fish keeping, but where else do you go after that? I'm happy where I am. It's the best trash TV ever. What, the Australian Married at First Sight thing? I did see an advert for it. Wasn't there some kind of commotion, or what's the word I'm looking for? Don't know, I've forgotten how to speak. Are neodymium magnets aquarium safe? Are thinking of pimping an algae scraper? I don't know if that's true. First, I have to go back and say, hello Simon, sorry if I skipped you above. I didn't see your name. Oh, there it is as well. Thank you, sorry Simon. Simon is also an excellent moderator. I don't know why they wouldn't be aquarium safe other than like any kind of metal. They will eventually corrode, so I would go with some kind of hide them inside the scraper, if that makes sense. So Wild Jennifer just appeared. She has as well. Hello Jennifer, nice to see you again. How did the sleepover go last week? I'm just about recovered, thank you. For we had my daughter's 10th birthday last week, and she had 6 of her friends over for a sleepover. We had to get rid of one of them about midnight. She had enough, so Mum and Dad had to come and get her. She wasn't for being consoled. The rest of them still bouncing off the walls till about 2 in the morning. Hey, but you're only 10 once, aren't you? Got to let them have fun. Right, where else did we get to? I'm loving these questions. Thank you for keeping the questions coming. It gives me things to talk about. Have you ever used liquid fry foods, things like rams and angelfish fry? If so, what are your options, and what do you use for very small fry? So, no, is the short answer. I haven't ever used liquid fry food. So my fry, I kind of split into, if I'm honest, 2 categories. If I was to stretch the truth, probably 3. So I think I've made a video on this as well. I have a tub where I put the ends of all my packets of fish food. So when it gets down to the dregs of the flakes, or some stick-on tabs, or some algae wafers, or whatever it is, when it's the crumbs, stick it in a tub, give it a proper shake, and it creates like a dust, and that's what I'll use to feed my fry. That's 99% probably of any fry that I've ever had. I will feed them with that predominantly. Discus fry, so when I'm trying to get, this sounds bad to say, but when I really care about the fry, so like guppy fry, meh, if you live, you live. Discus fry, I want all of them to survive, or as many of them to survive as possible. That's when I'll use things like baby brine shrimp. So I'll go to the effort of hatching baby brine shrimp, which some of the liquid foods are replicating that. So I'll just go to the source. So hatch your baby brine shrimp, feed your baby brine shrimp, everyone's a winner. Most of my tanks, or when my fish room is properly established, I would have big bundles of moss, plants, botanicals, leaves, whatever it was that would be in there. And that creates like a little mini ecosystem in there for little things like infusoria and all those kind of really micro organisms, really, really small things that you can barely see. I would just make an assumption that those things would be in there. Now, you can artificially cultivate those kind of things, and I've tried that a few times, and that either works really well or works really stinkily, and that's a bad idea. But I just make the assumption that those things will exist in my mature tanks. And small fry, it does 2 things. It gives them a place to hide, and it gives them something to eat, because all those small, tiny, tiny microorganisms will live in there, and they'll feed off that. So I haven't ever used like the bottled liquid fry foods, but that's what I have. What's the favourite aquarium you've ever had? My current favourite is my Firemouth Chicklid tank with swordtails. My favourite tank is my big display tank, the one that I broke. That there was a specific time, I think I made a video about me trimming back the aquascape, but maybe after a year or so of me having it, I had planted it out, and it carpeted with not really a carpeting plant. I used to think it was I misidentified the plant that it was, so now I can't remember which one it was actually. But it looked awesome, and it was like a proper rug. So I cut it away so as it was like shaped it around the islands, and it was just whatever plant I put in there, it just took off ridiculously. And I think I cut a little too aggressively and got all my balance wrong, and then I just started getting smashed with black-beard algae and stuff like that. But just before that, it was at its perfect, and that was discus and all the fish that I kept with discus. Loved it. Thought that was fantastic. A really good, densely planted tank, I think, is just my ideal, shall we say. David says, thanks for all the info last week about using RO water. I've now started to mix my tap water with RO and the chlorinator. Good. I'm glad it was useful in some kind. What's happening with your big discus tank? Long story. So, smashed the bottom of the big discus tank. I'm hesitating before filling it back up, or fixing it and filling it back up again, because we have to do work on the floor that it's currently stood on. So if I did set it up again, I'd soon have to drain it down, move it so we could fix the floor and put it back in again. So that's the reason, but in reality, I should have done it months ago, because we're still probably weeks, if not months, away from doing anything about fixing the floor. But I have been thinking whether I can use the liquid rubber to fix the tank rather than getting a new piece of glass. Just rubber it all in. That's bound to end in disaster, and disaster is always good for YouTube videos. Hello, Steiner Wallacher. Nice to see you. I saw a comment on your latest video about someone unsubscribing about the algorithm. Yeah, so I happened to be looking at my analytics the other day, and I noticed that roughly 60% of the people that watch my videos aren't actually subscribed to my videos. So the done thing at that point is you tell everyone in a video, say, right, you person watching my video, there's a 60% chance you're not subscribed to my channel. Would you mind clicking the subscribe button? It's a bit cringe. Don't like doing that kind of thing, but it's the done thing, so you have to do these things. And someone said that they wouldn't subscribe because the algorithm sent them videos that they didn't like when they subscribed to my channel, or they wanted to subscribe to someone else, but they kept getting estate agent videos suggested, and they didn't want to subscribe to my channel because they kept getting discus videos suggested to them by the algorithm, even though the video they subscribed on wasn't about discus. And it's because I have discus in the tags of my channel description, probably, because discus are the best fish. I'm kind of fine with it. There's a million reasons not to subscribe to me, so that's just another one. It's just a kind of gentle prod to say, well, if it's just forgetfulness or didn't think to click the subscribe button, would you mind? If you don't want to, also fine. The fact that you're watching the video, that's the real thing that matters. But YouTube comments, that's a weird place to hang out. I don't get people sometimes. It does make me think. So I'm building Megatank, as you will know. It doesn't matter what I say, so I can explain something perfectly, or I can explain my reasoning. I'm not doing I'm not doing fiberglass on this tank. I think I can get away without fiberglass. I'm going to try it. It might work, it might not work. And the comments will be, don't use fiberglass, followed by someone else saying, can't believe you're not using fiberglass. Well, I've already explained I'm not going to, and you telling me after I've already started not using it that I should be using it isn't going to change my mind. I'm not going to go, hang on, I'll trash everything, rip it all back to the start, and we'll start again because Big Balls 500 said I have to use fiberglass. The amount of people that say, oh, liquid rubber's trash, after seeing a video of me holding up a 200 quid bottle of liquid rubber, like, I've bought it now. I've started using it. You can see me painting it onto a thing. Why would you tell me at this point that it's rubbish? Oh, you can't use that, you need to use this. It's the way some people will say, don't use that, or you can't use that, and you should do this. To be honest, I love the comments, so I don't mind what you say. And I love the opinions. I just don't get the mentality behind, don't do that thing you've already done. I've already done it. It's the second most infuriating thing after Facebook Marketplace. You can't please anyone. Someone will say, don't use liquid rubber, you should use Pond Shield. Well, I've explained the reasons I'm not using Pond Shield is it costs 10 times more than liquid rubber, and it should do the same thing. I'm going to make a video and prove that it either does or doesn't use the same thing. If it fails, it's still a perfectly valid test. I've tested it and it didn't work. that's some useful content. Someone else doesn't need to test it. But there's no videos out there of people going, oh my god, my tank failed because I used liquid rubber. There's just 1,000 comments, people saying, oh, your tank will fail if you use liquid rubber. So we'll see, and I'll document it. And if you have been here before, you'll know I won't lie about it. If it goes wrong, it goes wrong, and I'll tell you, it's in the perfect position to go wrong. It's in my garage. It will just flood right out. It's not going to ruin a floor or kill the electrics or any of that kind of stuff. It's just, it is what it is. So I think it's worth a go, if nothing else. But yeah, comments are just, I think YouTube just exists, or it's the perfect place for people to come and disagree about something. Whether they've got any actual interest in the subject, it's like, what is the subject of this video? Right, I'm going to take the opposite position and pretend like I know what I'm talking about. But I'm more than happy for people to give me advice, and I ask for and solicit advice all the time of what should we do here? I don't know how to do this. But after I've already done the thing, telling me to undo it, just that boggles my brain somewhat. But anyway, thank you for all your advice, everyone that's given me some. What have I missed? I've upset someone, clearly. I've seen lots of comments. Yeah, so that, as to my earlier question of stick to your niche, here's an example of ignoring that advice. So Sharpie does fish and phantoms. But, I mean, it's only if you're... There are lots of reasons to make YouTube videos. If you don't actually care about your channel growing, why would you listen to any of those rules? Those rules are for people who are trying to grow their channels and they're trying to make it a thing. But if you're just, like, I'm just having fun, I will have to admit I want my channel to grow, so I'm trying these techniques to make sure that it keeps on a path. I've said it 100 times before. One of my hobbies is fish keeping. Another of my hobbies is making videos. Another of my hobbies is trying to understand the YouTube algorithm and make my channel grow. So that's just part of the game for me. It's part of the fun of doing this, is trying to, oh yeah, that does make my channel grow. But for years my channel was just, here's a video of fish A, the date is January the 15th, and then 3 months later, here's fish A, the growth is this, it's changed colour, it's done that and the other. It wasn't about trying to grow a YouTube channel, it was about taking pictures of my fish to see what happened over time. But it is what it is. Let's see if we can get... I've just seen another one. Liquid rubber will not last. Alright, I'm going to prove it, one way or the other. But Novi Perlicky, or whatever. And how did you think that comment was going to be helpful? I'm interested. I'm not having a go. Just how did you think that comment would be helpful? I've clearly just released a video of me liquid rubbering my tank. What are you expecting me to do? Rip it out? Start again with something else? I'm interested. Is your monster built for discus? Maybe. I cannot decide for the life of me. It's either going to be a massive discus tank. It's either going to be some kind of predator or chichlid tank. They are the two front runners at the moment. I love discus, but I think I want to keep them in my display tank in the house. I've always wanted Oscars, and I like the idea of having weird and wacky things that I can get that are just weird and wacky. So whether it be pike cichlids or all the crazy things you saw at the Fishman Aquatics tour, the freshwater barracudas, not really that keen on stingrays, but stingrays, they are cool, but just like big fish. Oscars, I think, look cool, but it's like, oh yeah, you're going to spend 1,500 quid building a tank just to put Oscars in it. Ugh. So I don't know. I have a kind of private list where I keep writing down a stock list and saying, oh, that's what I'm going to keep in it. Then I come back to it the next day and go, nah, why would I put that in it? That's ridiculous. No, we'll go back to discus. We'll put this. We'll get 100 discus. We'll have the world's biggest discus planted aquarium. And then you search world's biggest discus planted aquarium and go, oh, nope, that's been done on a much bigger scale than I could ever possibly do it. So it's still very much... I'm sure you said the liquid rubber doesn't bond to silicon, so it wouldn't work. Yeah, it doesn't bond to silicon, so I would have to strip out all the silicon. But I mean in the cracks. I could liquid rubber over the cracks. Whether I could... Yeah, I don't know. Because it's going to touch silicon at some point, isn't it? Yeah, maybe you've saved me from a disaster there, Simon. What is your quarantine protocol for your discus? I've had 5 in QT for 2 weeks using Prazi and flubendazole. They're doing great. Planning to use a hero fish for a week or so. Thoughts? Yeah, so I think that's pretty much the same way I do it. I call it the sacrificial lamb fish, or the hero fish. I guess it's the same sort of thing. I would generally do 2 weeks of the new fish on their own. Make sure there's nothing underlying, that they're happy, they look healthy, they're feeding well. You can assign off the new fish as, right, problem free. I then would take one new fish, and if you call it your hero fish, one existing fish or sacrificial lamb, and put those two in a separate tank together and monitor that for another 2 weeks. If you get by, problem free, you're good to go, everything's good. So things like cross-contamination usually show up in like 3 or 4 days, so you don't have to wait long for that to show up. But if you give it 2 weeks, that's everything that could show up would show up. But if something does show up, then you have to be ready to react. So there's lots of different advice for different illnesses, so it depends what it is that you would encounter. I don't normally medicate. So I used to when I first started. The done thing was to get acroflavin and salt, so you'd put that in with your new fish. I could never really understand the reasoning behind that, so I stopped doing it, and nothing bad happened. So I just stopped using any medication whatsoever, and I only medicate if I see a problem, basically. But other than that, it seems like we're doing the same sort of thing. You need to glass it. It will fail with rubber. Again, why are you saying this? I've already not glassed it. Why will it fail with rubber? Have you got extensive experience in this? Or are you just parroting everyone else that might have said that without ever having done it? This is the reason for doing this, is to prove this one way or the other. I'm not going to, Novo R. Perlicki told me that we shouldn't do this, so I'm giving up now. Everything's going in the bin. Clearly this is never going to work. So this is the embodiment of the people that I can't understand why you would comment these things. I don't need to glass it. These products exist so as I don't glass it. They're made specifically to avoid having to fiberglass it. So why wouldn't I try it at least? As I've said, this is a test. I'm going to see if this works. I have used the alternative to fiberglassing to see if it works. You telling me I need to glass it with no explanation or reasoning doesn't help. Yeah, and this is the worst one. A video that I brought out 5 years ago, someone saying, you've done that wrong, that'll never work. And you're like, that was 5 years ago, and it worked. Can you not even look at the date stamp on a video? I realise I might be a bit behind in the chat, but this product is specifically made for this. So there are paint-on products that keep water for a long time. I don't know. I mean, I'm sorry if I appear rude. I don't mean to appear rude, but your comments appear rude to me, because it's just trotting out the same old stuff again with no I'm going to the effort now to test this one way or the other. Show me your videos that you've made where these things all fail after a certain amount of time. It seems to be just, I don't know, do you work for Pond Armour? These guys that have had these tanks for 10 years using liquid rubber, are they lying? Are they faking it? I don't know. YouTube comments have taken over from the bloke in the pub who knew everything about everything. They do a bit. They're very. It's a good analogy, I think. The comments are very much like, yeah, it's the know-alls that. I mean, the internet's like that anyway. I think sitting behind a keyboard does make you act a little bit like that. And I'm not aiming this at the guy from earlier. I'm aiming this at general people on the internet. No, everything's black and white. I mean, everyone's very eager to assert their opinion over everyone else quickly. That is the way the internet is, and YouTube comments and Facebook comments and things like that are where sometimes the worst of these things come out. So, I'm not against criticism. So, for the person earlier who was commenting about, oh, it's never going to work, I'm fine with criticism. So, a good example was, I had 2 comments with a space of about 10 minutes in one of the videos saying, you've hugely over-engineered that, and another one saying, that's never going to last. So, both these people were extremely confident that they were right. One saying that I'd built my tank too strong, I didn't need to go anywhere near that. Another one was adamant that it was trash and it was going to fall apart instantly. They are completely polar opposite opinions. Only one of them can actually be true. But they both said it with such gusto that they believed that they were right. So, one, why say it? I don't get the reason behind saying it in the first hand. But I don't mind if you say it, if it's sharing your opinions and thoughts. And I answered them and said, well, do you know what? I'm not an expert, so I don't know if it's over-engineered. But I'd rather somebody thought it was over-engineered than under-engineered. I want to be on the safe side. So I'm fine with getting a little bit of critical feedback, let's say. Who knows? Throw a tarp over it and call it a day. You know what? If it all goes horribly wrong, I'll just get some pond liner and line it like that. Cut it round the window. It's like these people think this is life and death. I'm trying to make my own fish tank. I've never made my own fish tank. I'm having a go at it. In the weeks and months that I've been planning this, I've been extremely grateful for all the advice. Being criticised for the thing I've just done isn't helpful. It doesn't. There's no way it can help. I don't know. Jokes aside, I'm interested in seeing this progress as it's a cool and personal idea build. Yeah. So I do have a wrap-up video of this planned, because there are reasons that I'm building this mega tank. So mega tank exists because I couldn't get a big enough tank. I wanted a big tank so I could do big things. I couldn't find a big tank. A big glass tank was prohibitively expensive and prohibitively heavy as well. Heavy to the point of, unless I could go and find 6 people to help me, I literally could not get it into position. So that was the first one. Second one is, it's bespoke, so it fits to my space that I've got. So I had a square footage of 8 foot by 4 foot. Unless you get a custom built tank, you can't buy an 8 foot by 4 foot tank. But imagine if I wanted an 8 foot by 5 foot or an 8.5 foot. That's just a little bit more wood. So the costs remain the same to a degree to get it exactly how I want it. And I get to build that in situ, plank by plank. So I alone can carry in a bit of wood, place it, screw it in, get it together. I alone can cut some plywood and put it in. I alone can paint it with my ridiculous pond paint that will never work and flood everything. I don't have to rely on 6 other people come and help me hump something in and pay $3,000 for the privilege. Now, if I'd done this a year ago or 2 years ago, this would have been a complete no-brainer. It would be so much cheaper than a glass tank or an acrylic tank. You wouldn't even question it. It'd be like, obviously, this is the way to go. It's not that cheap. That's the only drawback here. It's probably a hell of a lot cheaper than a glass one, and I will do that comparison. It's a hell of a lot cheaper than a custom-built glass tank and has all those other benefits, but it's not as much cheaper as it would have been a couple of years ago, if that makes sense. But I'm also thinking about doing the other version of this is, if this is the over-engineered version, I might make a 6-foot tank for my racking system, so I can have a big tank there and just make it with plywood. So plywood, glue, screw, pond liner, not pond liner, the rest of my liquid rubber or something along those lines, and do one that isn't over-engineered, that's minimally engineered, so just the plywood that's holding it together, because I can do it on a bit of a smaller scale, so that'll probably be 6 foot by 2 foot. So it's rather than me finding that tank, because tanks that are 6 foot are generally 2 foot high, and that causes me problems with my racking system because it doesn't really give me enough room to get my hands in if I want to have another row of tanks, that is. Whereas I could build one that was like 15 inches tall. I could get my hands in easy enough. So it's the really easy to chop and change your designs, your plans, plan it to exactly what you need, and you've got exactly what you need. Now, of course, if in a year's time we come back here and I'm going, oh, what an idiot, I should never have done that, because they leak immediately, then that's not such a good thing. But, you know, if you're planning this yourself, wait a while, watch me. If I can make it work, you can make it work. Let's just put it like that. Please do a massive discus tank. I'd love to see it. I only have a 120 gallon tank and would love a 180 to 240 gallon tank, but no way my wife will allow it. Yes, I know the feeling. You need to get yourself a fish room where if it does flood, it's not going to break anything. Then you're allowed whatever you want. Yeah, massive discus tank. It's definitely there. A massive discus tank comes with its own set of problems, shall we say. If I want a massive discus tank, I want to have a mass of discus. So rather than having the 12 or 14 or whatever it is that I've got at the moment that will fit quite nicely in my big display tank downstairs, I might want 30, 40, 50. And I don't want crap. I want good stuff. So when you're 60 to £100 a fish, that quickly adds up. So I don't know. But, you know, if I can get a breeding project going, I could supply my own tank. So, and that's why it's still there in the back of my mind. So I do have ideas. Fish, shut up, Callum. Sorry for the limited med. I feel like it's... sorry, I must have missed something. I can't see that comment. Why will it not let me press it? There you go. Callum was a customer that just came in and set up a 10-foot tank, came in to choose some fish and chose a better. Yeah, I might get a couple of snails and maybe a cherry shrimp for my 8-foot tank. Way too small, says Jennifer. Liquid rubber, the new protection against having fry. Well, it would do a job, I'll tell you that much. I accidentally dipped my whole hand in the bucket and I was gutted I didn't have the camera rolling because I was like, oh, no one's this stupid. Turns out someone is. But that took me a couple of days to get that all off, and then this is... I don't know if you can see all those little black spots. My fingernails just looking like I've been digging holes in the garden room with just my hands. Yeah, I'm a bit disgusting at the moment. Do you think you'll be able to see the better in a 10-foot tank? When I first got my big display tank, I put a guppy in it for a couple of weeks, and I was just constantly convinced, it's disappeared. Where can it have gone? And it'd be there like, look at me, I'm swimming about, I'm the man. It's just because it was so small, you just couldn't see it. Yes, I have tried it. The rubber will unbond from the plywood and start to leak. Oh, that would be a shame, wouldn't it? How many bristle noses could I get in a 10-foot tank? A conservative estimate of 1,500. Yeah. I don't necessarily think he's a hater. He's just annoying me. Everyone's welcome to their own opinions, but I'm past that now. It's done. I'm doing it this way. There's no way I can go back. Graham or Graham? It's the correct one. It's Graham. So I maintain Graham, my Graham, the proper way to spell it, Graeme. That's the proper way to spell it. That's how you spell Graham, the first name. Graham is a surname, or an incorrectly spelt first name. I say this because my granddad, he was the chief registrar of Glasgow, so he was in charge of naming every kid that was born in Glasgow between, I don't know, 1970 something and 1990 something. My grandpa had a say in it, and that's what he used to tell me is, no, your name's this is how you properly spell it correctly. And definitely not like that. It's not Graham. Are you going to put liquid rubber on top of the wooden frame of the tank? I noticed it was still unpainted in your video. I have started putting it on the edges of the plywood. I'm not necessarily putting it on the wooden frame, but I will be covering that with something else. I will also be putting it on, I'm going to make some braces for the top of the tank to hold the front and the back together, so it'll be going on that as well. How many US gallons will the tank be, and are you planning to make a sump? I am planning to make a sump. I'm kind of following, so there's another channel I've been watching recently called Aquarium Domain, and so if you're interested in mega tanks, Aquarium Domain and Alex G's Aquariums, they're the go-to tank. I mean, they make my tank look like that thing over there. So if you're, he does one where he just basically builds a plywood box underneath the. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask, can't do it. He builds a plywood box. US gallon. There we go. Underneath the tank and puts pond liner in it, and no baffles to speak of, but he just uses like jap mat to create sections. So I really like that idea, and I'll probably copy it, blatantly just copying everything. He has the first section as almost like a settlement chamber, so he uses that with like K1 media or something like that, some kind of floating media, and just lets all the detritus gather there. So it doesn't use any filter socks or filter floss or wool or anything like that. Just lets it all gather in that first chamber, and then scoops that out with a sump pump when he's doing his cleaning, and then some jap matting, and then a load of biological or chemical or whatever you have after that. And I think that simple works. He's been doing it for years. It makes sense to me. It works. My head says, yep, that'll work. Let's do that. So I'll probably go for something along those lines. So I reckon when all's said and done, it's going to be about 2,500 litres, which I think, if my maths, I think if Google is correct, is about 660 gallons. Pictroman 1185, hello. I'm enjoying watching the process and coming along for the ride, but that's what it's all about. I mean, if I am doing the wrong thing, at least it's me doing it and not you. At least it's my garage that gets flooded, not your house. As Liam says, if it fails, it fails. Who knows? Mine is a 300 gallon tank and only discus. See, that'll be a sight to behold. You got any pictures? Have you joined the Discord server? Show us some of your pictures. Worst case scenario, use pond liner. Exactly. If it all goes wrong, I can fix it. Hey, there's an idea. So could you seal underfloor heating into the bottom of the tank and use the liquid rubber to heat under the liquid rubber to heat the tank? Yes, you definitely could. So I've been thinking about, so I've gone for insulating the room rather than the tank, but the way that I built the tank obviously lends itself to putting some insulation in there as well. But yeah, you could. I was talking to somebody the other day about putting it under, or an effective version of underfloor heating under the tank, which I think Joey, the King of DIY, he did in his big concrete tank. So it'd be a very similar thing to that. That should be. Oh, pardon me. So that would work. I'm not doing it, just to say there, but it would definitely be a thing. Alex G just posted an update of his huge tank on Discord. Oh, I hadn't noticed. I've been watching his videos recently. He's got a video of him where he's got this tank built with the canopy. I think it might be the latest one or the one before that, where he's just doing this thing, walking to camera, talking about something. I'm like, yeah, that puts me to shame. That's what you call a big tank, when you can walk for 10 seconds and still be inside your tank. So worth a watch if you're into your big tanks. Alex G, I think it's called Alex G's Aquariums, is it? I was watching it earlier on, actually. Alex G's Aquariums and Aquarium Domain. Yeah, Alex G's Aquariums. 52 viewers and only 32 likes. Right, that's not on. Come on, people. You only have to hit like. It's not like you have to pay for it or anything like that. Oh look, there's the man himself, Alex G's Aquariums, talking about Aquarium Domain. See, the two people I was mentioning. Sorry, I've got something in my eye. Probably liquid rubber. This might be the reason not to use it. So yeah, it's freaking everywhere. Sorry. Yes, Aquarium Domain has some really nice builds. And yes, they might be over-engineered, but why wouldn't you over-engineer if you can? So I've I've pretty much copied his designs. And I like the idea of the way he does his sumps as well. Can you share pictures of your current discus? I can't, because I don't have a current. Well, I have tanks with discus in them, but they're not my discus tanks. I need to get it fixed and set up again, because yeah, they've been in that tank too long. I'm going slightly blind here. I think I've done something. If the liquid rubber doesn't work, it's no biggie. Just come for a pool party. Yeah, it's going to be a hot tub. Pond liner, yep. How much dechlorinator will you have to use in your mega tank? None. I use a HMA filter. I use a couple of HMA. In fact, 3 I've got now. So I haven't used dechlorinator in years. I've always used HMA filters. I got a job lot of all the carbon blocks, carbon granules, the 5 micron filters. In fact, I think I'm almost out of them all. So yeah, I've used HMA filters for years. They're heavy metal axe. They're the 3-stage filters that you might see. There's kind of almost an RO filter, if you like. It's the 3 stages before your reverse osmosis bit. Where you have like a 5 micron sediment filter, and then you might have a carbon block or a carbon granule or different combinations of the two, and they take out all the heavy metals, including chlorine and some of them chloramines. So I just use that. Large air pump and make it a jacuzzi. Right, we're going to have a. I just saw a really disturbing comment there. We're going to have a giveaway. So we've still got some key rings. I can't see any. There we go. There's one. Oh, it's not got a sticker on. Not got a sticker on. So that's definitely not a last minute job. So if you want to win a cock ring or any other design, we have This Sucks, this blows, or the normal, oh, that didn't work. This sucks. This, look at those fingernails, it's disgusting. If you want a key ring, you can have a key ring. All you have to do is, what do you have to do? You probably have to type something in. Let's give away 3 key rings. We gave away about 6 last week, but only 3 or 4 people contacted me to say they wanted a key ring. So, too late. If you didn't get in last week, you're out. Getting a new one. So, if you would like a key ring, let me know by typing the word. Let me get it in first. Type in the word cockring, Kokring, into the chat, and I'll send you a key ring. That's all we need, really. I'll use this time to now catch up on the chat. It's open to anyone who's a subscriber who is in the UK, unfortunately, because they cost an absolute fortune to send anywhere, as I learnt to my peril last week. So unless you're willing to pay for it, you can join. If you're in other parts of the world, if you pay for your own shipping, you can have one. Click like, click subscribe, click all the clicky things. Job's good. Type in Cockring, Kokring, and I'll see what we're doing. Slide into the golf hole. Now, some context. My garden has a golf course in it. Not a golf course, a golf hole. That's what she means by that. Alex G's build is a work in progress, and but what a build it is. And quite right. Better to overbuild than underbuild. Why wouldn't you? I've never understood it's too well built. There's no such thing. I could probably use the stand I built as the foundation of another house. So it is overbuilt, but why wouldn't you? It allows so much more tolerance for any other mistakes made later on. I've been obsessed with this bloody this liquid rubbering. It's doing my nutting. I've been going over it with a fine tooth comb looking for any imperfections, because it's the kind of thing where the smallest thing will be the thing that ruins this. And then people like your man earlier will be like, ha ha, I told you so. And it'll be, no, this idiot left a drawn pin in the middle of it. I'm trying to be as meticulous as possible, and it really is true that getting the foundations right seems to make as much of a difference for every later stage as it does. Because I don't want that. I think I called it the Princess and the Pea effect, where I've found a couple of spots where I've used the geotextile where they've kind of fish-mouthed, where it's not quite dried properly, and that's exactly the kind of thing that is going to ruin me. So slicing it with a knife, patting both bits down, cutting out any little imperfections. They reckon between 3 to 5 coats. I'm on 3 at the moment, I think, for the main stuff, which means 5 or 6 for the corners and seams. I'm just going to keep going. I reckon I'm going to keep going until I've used at least half the massive bucket full of the stuff that I've got. Right. Oh, we have caught up. Excellent. There's a thing you don't hear every day. Sorry, that tickled me, that did. Right, so far we've got 18 eligible users. I'll use this time to say some more shameless shilling. If you wouldn't mind clicking some of the buttons that might be around the screen, join, subscribe if you've not already done that, like, that always helps. I have a website. I will shamelessly sell you some fish food. So if you want some... sorry, I was looking at something else. Any food for all fish. I've got something that covers most things. Getting really good reviews. So 2 things here. If you've already bought some and you liked it, would you mind doing a review of it? So you can go back onto the website and click, I bought this. and tell me whether you liked it or not. Been getting some really good reviews, so I'm happy to have bad reviews as well, because I think that's just as valid. If you don't like something, if there's something I can improve, whether it's I'm not manufacturing this food. These are from suppliers that have allowed me to resell it, so it is what it is. But in terms of packaging and things like that, I can make that better if need be. But you'd rather see it in different ways. So happy to get feedback, whether good or bad. But yeah, merch. Buy some merch. I think I'll know I've made it when one day I see someone out in the wild wearing something of mine. So I think I'm going to have to hang out in Leicestershire for the Kaylee and Mark, because they've pretty much got one of everything now. Keep winning everything. Yeah, so as Kaylee's saying there, Mark had a few people take a second glance at his cock shirt. I went wearing this, or it might have been the t-shirt version of this, and I was wandering through B&Q and someone shouted at me from the end of the aisle, "Cock!" And I was like, "You what?" And I was like, right, okay, so dangerous. Wasn't sure whether I was about to get into a fight or it was a fan. Or a subscriber. Nobody's really a fan. But yeah, that made me laugh. He could have just noticed that it said cock and shouted it for some reason, or he could have been a subscriber, or maybe he did want to fight. Who knows? I never did catch up with him, so that was fun times. Right, I think the eligible users aren't growing any, so let's do a little face. So as you can see, KOK ring, mods, regulars, everyone's got a chance. We'll give away a few of these, shall we? Let's see. 3, 2, 1. Is it Kaylee? It's not Kaylee. Simon, you have won a key ring. Let me know which type you would want. Oh, this is another rule. You have to email me at an email address I'll tell you in a second, and tell me where you live. And preferably your real name, because I had to send something to Foxtail Gravy, I think was the name that I had. The woman in the post office was a bit like, "What is this? Is this a sex thing? Why are you?" So just Nigel. That's fine. We'll go with that. Right, we'll do another one. Jacob LM, congratulations. You too have won a key ring, and for the final time, it's going to be the guy that argued with me in it. It's not, it's Jennifer. It's Jennifer, Chief Mod Jennifer. Congratulations to all those guys. That's not the button I meant to press. Congratulations to all those people. Hope you enjoy your key rings. Send me an email, let me know where you live, even if I already know where you live, because it saves me hunting you down again. And tell me what kind of key ring you've got. We have 4 designs. We've got the cock ring, we've got this sucks, this blows, and the old classic, just general Aquarium Adventures discus logo. Like, that's not the thing, but that's what the picture looks like. And I will send them out in 3 to 5 business weeks, because that's how fast I am. Delicious. Simon's real name is Moderator69. Big face. So let me just change that. I'll press that button there if it shows that and go. That's the email address. So Graham, spelled correctly, Graeme, at aquariumadventures.co.uk. Why did I choose that colour and font to write that information? That's hard to read. So Graham at aquariumadventures.co.uk. I want to know what kind of keyring you want. What else do I want to know? What your address is, including county. And yeah, I think that'll do. Click some buttons, all that clicky stuff. We'll do one more giveaway towards the end of this. I'm going to try and power through to 11 o'clock, given that I've still not had my dinner, and see how we get on there. And we might bring back the Wheel of Kaylee and give away a good prize. Not that the key rings aren't good, but you know what I mean, like a hoodie or a t-shirt or something along those lines, or a towel. I can't believe no, I'll take that back. I can't believe towels aren't as popular as I expected them to be. I thought, so what's the one thing every fish keeper needs? A good towel. Yeah, I've not sold one for ages, and they are really good too. And I'm not just saying that because I want to sell you one. They are good. I mostly want you to click subscribe. That's what I'm doing this month. March. Is it March? It's going to be a month of me begging you to subscribe to my channel. I can't believe 60% of the people that watch my channel aren't subscribed. So I will mostly be begging people to subscribe this month. I think that's the main thing. And this month I will mostly be begging for subscriptions and painting liquid rubber. I think we're going to go for about 15 coats, hoping that it sticks. Do they have a loop to hang them on? They do have a loop to hang them on. In fact, shall I get you one and show you? So, talking of sumps, this is the Jap mat that was, if you've never seen that before. This is like, I don't know if you can see that. I don't know how to describe it other than it's Jap mat. It's kind of like a plastic extrusion, is that what you would call it? Instead of sponge. I bought a load of it to use in my, what will be the sump. So, towels, various colours. This is the This Sucks model of towel. And they're quite big, as you can see. And yes, they do have a hanging loop. A handy hanging loop, so you can stick them on a nail or the side of your tank or whatever it is. But yeah, big old towels. Great stuff. Why do I always feel the need to do that? It's kind of full of mucky doings. So, really useful towels. I will say that. The first thing I bought was one of your towels. Highly recommended. Thank you very much. Oh, I went very bright all of a sudden. Why has that happened? Oh, now I've gone all dark again. Someone had a question. I saw something about Alpha Kenny 1 had a question. Oh, no. No, not this again. Can't believe you got me with such a simple one. Let's move on. There you go, there's some good feedback. I love my towel. I use it every water change as well as anything to do with my fish. Not rubbing it on your face like what I seem to always want to do. Yeah, loads of good things. I'm really... This, and I'm not saying this because it's my hoodie, this is my favourite hoodie ever. It's just, I don't know, maybe it suits the larger gentleman. It's the neck's not too small or too big. The arms aren't massively long. It's just, the pocket's perfect size. It's great. I'd buy one at twice the price. Yeah, I can't believe they've got me. I can't believe you got me with that one. Do you know what? My first thought was, oh, look at that. Sharpie's calling out the questions now. That's nice of him. He's not even a moderator. Maybe we'll promote him. But no. No. He got me. That's completely thrown me. I've forgotten everything I was talking about. Oh, right, the next thing I wanted to talk about. So, I think we've done Mega Tank to death. It is what it is, and I'm doing what I'm doing. In the story. We're going to build Mega Tank. I regret calling it Mega Tank now that I've seen the size of Alex's tank and all the other ones, but it's big for me, let's call it that. draw a line under mega tank. The next thing is, and Phil does do a great job with the merch, I've just seen that message, the embroidery, especially on the cock one. So this is an actual photograph of him. Get out of the way. Never tell what way to go. This is an actual photograph of Humphrey, my flower horn, embroidered with all those colours. It's ace. Love it. And the colours don't fade. This has been washed a bazillion times and it's still as bright as it was the day I got it. Yeah, congratulations. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the subscriber tank. So let's take Mega Tank, move it to the side. We've got the subscriber tank. I don't think. I have started doing a little bit of research is probably the wrong word. I've read a few articles. I've Googled what fish come from the Congo River. I've Googled what plants grow in the Congo River. And my question to you is, how biotope are we going? How biotope is biotope? Are we going to pick an area of the Congo River? So the Congo's a pretty big place. Are we going to say anything in that general vicinity? So Congo tetras are found in the Congo River basin, which is not just one area of the river. It's the whole shebang. It's the river, it's some tributaries, it's some, not floodplains, what's the word I'm looking for? Other bits. It's found all over the place. So are we going to pick one of those places? Are we going to say, right, main river, let's try and replicate that? Or are we going to say tributary X571, let's pick that one and see what we can find there? Because they are pretty widely distributed, we have a few choices. So we might end up saying, right, okay, I'm going to take this plant and that plant. You might find Congo tetras in both those places, but not both those plants in the same place. So I'm struggling to put this all together in my head, and possibly because I haven't done all the research yet, so I don't know. So that's my question to you. What are we going to put in here? So in my head at the moment, I'm thinking I want a 3-foot tank, 4-foot tank, something along those lines. Longer rather than taller or higher. I've got river in my head, I've got flow in my head. It's not necessarily, even if we go for something that's more of a basin-y thing rather than a fast-flowing river, because there are fast and there are slow plits in here as well, but I've got longer tank, wood, rocks, not rocks, stones more than rocks, so like river stones, so it looks more like river. Predominantly sandy bed, so it looks like mud, but with lots of botanicals and things like that, so lots of tannins. So I want lots of leaves, pods, things like that. Not necessarily black water, but darker, low light. I'd love to make it heavily planted, but I just don't know if that would be true to the biotope. I don't know how much we would be sticking to the biotope if we made it very planted. But yeah, so like I say, some wood, some stones, some maybe not gravel as such, but predominantly sand, but with some rubbly stuff to imitate a riverbed, for instance. There are anything from, well, depending which reports you read, in terms of tank mates, we could be doing anything from lungfish to, and I wouldn't be doing lungfish because that would probably be a light snack for all my Congo tetras. There are various live bearers, there are various like barbs and things like that even. Scott had posted, so again, join the Discord up there somewhere. Scott had posted a couple of examples, there are potentials that are in there. African bushfish, I can't remember what it's properly called. Then there's things that are African but not necessarily Congo. So is that straying into biotype rather than biotope? I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is, let's get this conversation started. Help me out with some of the research. Join the Discord server, and there is a text channel called Subscriber Tank. Jump in there, give me some options. In fact, let's have a look and see if we had found anything in there. Right, let me move that over so we can actually see it. And little face. So there you go, that's as far as I got. I'm thinking tannins, mix of mostly sand with some gravelly, rubbly spots, lots of wood, river-style stones. For plants, Hanubius, Vallisneria, some ferns. But Congo, or the place where the Congo tetras are collected, if what I've been reading is to be believed, is quite widespread. So there's all kinds of places that you can find fish. But so there might be lots of fish that are compatible with the biotope for Congo, but then would cancel each other out if we put those two ancillary fish together. It gets very complicated. I think I need someone cleverer than me to work this out. But I quite like the look of these. I don't know if you can see that picture. Why is that so small? Oh, that doesn't make it look any nicer, but that looks pretty cool. And as I am a man who... no, that's not that. What am I doing now? Come on, Graham. Pull yourself together. So I'm pretty sure Scott just typed these in because these are unpronounceable fish, and he likes to hear me struggle with Latin names. So Disticodus affinis, Phenacogrammus aruntiacus. This one's a bit easier. Tetradon shutendai. This. Big fan. I do like these. Did not even realise that they were found or collected in the same place as Congo tetras, or that they were compatible with them. But if it turns out they are, done deal. So Scott's suggesting lots of leaf litter, driftwood, thick leaves. Low light. Yeah, low light was the other thing that I was thinking of. Sharpie suggested cribs. Yeah, so there again, cribs are African fish, but not necessarily found in the same place. So how strict are we going to be about this? Because some of the cribs are awesome. I used to keep cribs. The second most fascinating fish I've ever kept was Crubensis, because of the way their fry act. And it just totally shocked me. I thought I killed 100 Crubensis fry at once. Because when they see you, the parents can give out a signal that'll make all the fry just drop to like a stone to the bottom. I was just wandering up to the tank and having a look in, and they just all went, push! I was like, oh no, what have I done? But it's like a defence mechanism. So it's these little things that hook you on the hobby, isn't it? It hooks you on the keeping fish and how interesting and different everything is. Wonder what bottom dwellers there are. So things like cyaniditis. There's quite a few catfish species kept in that area. In fact, that's one of the articles I was reading. Let's have a look at that. So lungfish, African lungfish, not really a contender here, because that would ultimately grow to the size, or outgrow the size of any tank that I might be thinking of getting, and potentially eat everything that might be in the tank. Bickers, Polypterus, definitely, really like them. Ornate bichers, I think they're fantastic looking fish, really interesting looking fish. Effectively dinosaurs, so not sure whether they would get too predatory to be housed with some Congo tetras. There is the humble Congo tetra on its own. More cichlids is the African leaf fish or bush fish or whatever we want to call it. Some eels as well. 200 species of catfish found in that area, so plenty of options with catfish. More eels and lots of... I didn't realise this. This was news to me today. The Congo has the highest number of freshwater pufferfish species in Africa, with 4 of the 6 native species here. African freshwater puffers such as this Tetradon mabu are likely to bite chunks out of any tank mates. Well, mabus are meant to be quite peaceful, if not eating them outright. So the mabu would be the one to go for, I think, if not the Congo puffer or the Shudentai. Not sure if I'm saying that right. So I will be doing some research for pufferfish compatibility with Congo tetras, and if they are, that might be the way to go. Butterfly fish, yeah, African butterfly fish. I don't know where they're from. I've not found anything that says they're from the Congo. I've not found anything that says they're not. Some umbongo. I heard they drink that in the Congo. Elephant fish, that's another one. I've seen that somewhere. Plants is what I'm struggling with. I'm struggling to find any pictures, to find any descriptions of what kind of plants grow in the Congo River. I say struggling. I spent all of 5 minutes Googling it earlier this afternoon when I was meant to be doing a meeting. Oh, have I made a boo-boo? Shudentai is the spotted Congo puffer. The Congo puffer is different. Kisange area of the Congo River. Let's see what Google turns up if I type that in. Kisangani. Stick fish on the end, that's what we always like to see. Animal life of the Congo River. Numerous fish species live in the waters of the Congo. More than 230 species have been... So there's plenty to choose from. The swamps, which often dry up in low water, are habited by the lungfish, survive the dry periods. The lungfish are awesome. That's another awesome fish. The black catfish, assume the colour of the environment. Birds. Right. So, I'm not going to do this on the live stream because that would be a bit strange. But so this is my cry for help. If you want to help or if you want to get involved, join the Discord server. Link is up there. Throw out some suggestions. Let's have a discussion about this. This isn't, as I keep saying about the subscriber tank, this is us doing this together. We should be coming up with a plan, coming up with some ideas, and enacting that. The type of tank that we're going for. This guy here. I saw that earlier and I thought exactly the same thing. What is that guy doing? I don't know if that's the same thing you were talking about, but that's the one that I saw. What's this guy doing? Kissing the head of a carp? Ugh. Oh, look at this guy. Should we get one of these in the tank? I do love watching his shows. But anyway, I digress. Join the Discord server. We can talk about these things and do it collectively rather than me saying, this is my interpretation of a biotype. This is going to be our interpretation of a biotope. our interpretation of what we can make this tank look like. Ideally, I'll figure out a way to get this tank in the background up here. Whether we replace some of this gubbins and have it up here, or I might have it over there next to the drum kit, something along those lines. This might be the opportunity to buy Megaflex. You know, the big Fluval Flex tank that I've always wanted. I'm not sure how long they are actually. What are the dimensions of the Megaflex? Undo the... I'll tell you right now, I'm not paying 324 quid for it though. Specifications. Oh, it's not even 3 foot long. 3 foot wide, rather. Now, I think I want a minimum of 3 foot because the behaviour I've observed so far out of the Congo Tetras is they like to patrol, so they're up and down all the time. Yeah, good point, Courtney. Maybe not next to the drum kit. Somewhere around here, though. But yeah, the Congo Tetras like to patrol, so I think having a bit of a longer footprint will be beneficial to them. Yeah, or maybe I could just ask George what he suggests. See, right, George Farmer, if you're watching, please join the Discord and help us out. We're trying to do a biotope. There are a couple of places where people have done biotopes for African fish. So it's an African biotope, which is a bit easier because Africa's a bloody big place, so there's lots of things in Africa. I think that's really stretching the definition of biotope, because if you're doing a biotope for a fish, that fish is only found in a limited number of places, so it's a lot more specific. So most of the articles I've seen so far, like if you Google Congo Tetra Biotope, there's very little out there that's actually a biotope for the Congo Tetra. It's more like, yeah, the Congo Tetra is from Africa. These fish are also from Africa. These plants look a bit African. Go with that. Yeah. But the Congo Tetras itself, I must congratulate every last one of you for voting for them, because I had bought them before we did this, because they were going to go in the discus tank. They were going to be the discus companions. Absolutely fantastic. I'm properly loving them. They're so active. They're colouring up so much so quickly, and feeding them's an absolute joy. You just put whatever you dump in there, they go at it like piranhas. It's crazy. They're properly, they attack it like nobody's business. So I'm really happy that we're going to build a tank around these fish. So I'm going to be looking for a tank, sourcing a tank, finding a place to put said tank in this house. I don't think I want them in the fish room unless I use, you know, that 6 foot tank that I talked about building for one of the racks. That might be where we put them, especially if we end up getting puffers as well, because we'll need quite a lot of space. But I think that long footprint would be ideal, so maybe that is what we end up doing. Oh, ideas on the fly, hey? I don't know, what do you lot think? Sorry, I've been ignoring chat for a while, so where did we get to? I think we'll do one more giveaway in a couple of minutes. If you have any questions you want to... Oh, got a load of dropped frames, that's never happened before. Sorry. Any questions, get them in now, because me belly's rumbling. While I check back on any comments and see what I've missed anywhere. There you go, Sharpie. I've got a plant book somewhere that goes by region. See what it says. Thank you. That would be extremely useful. The Goliath tigerfish, yeah. What's his name again? Jeremy Wade? Is it something like that? Maybe is this a British thing that only British people will understand? Look at that. Imagine coming face to face with that bad boy. That's even worse. I don't know which one's worse. Sorry, I'm being distracted now. Oh, I think I have actually kept up with chat tonight. That's wonders will never cease. So yeah, like I say, we'll do one more giveaway. Give it a couple of minutes. We'll do another giveaway. If you want any last questions, by all means, ask me your questions. Tell me what you've got coming up in the next wee while. I'm trying to frantically multitask and look at Discord at the same time. If you're interested, this was Alex G's aquarium that I was talking about. So if you can imagine having a video where you start off there and just wander all the way up there. That is ridiculous. I'm not sure I completely understand how this is going to be achieved either. But tell you what, I love this kind of stuff. I love it. It's interesting viewing. So go and check out the channels, Alex G's Aquariums and Aquarium Domain. Just obviously, because I'm doing it myself now, I've got more of an appreciation for it. But I love this whole build something yourself from the ground up. Every last little detail. If it fails, it's your fault. If it works, it's your fault. But the scale, that's... Look at it. Look at it. It is ridiculous. What's for post live stream stack? Well, dinner for me. I think I'm struggling as well. I'm not even sure we've got pizzas. And everything will be shut by the time we finish. And I've had a beer, so I can't drive anywhere. Chicken wings. I think that might be what we've got. Freshwater Ichthyology has just joined the chat. Nice to see you, and happy birthday for a couple of weeks back. We all said happy birthday and then you didn't show up, so, you know. At least you're here eventually. PVC ball valve versus Spears gate valve for controlling flow into a sump. So, there's two answers to this. The proper answer is the gate valve, because that allows for finer control. But the Scottish answer is ball valve, because it's a tenth of the price. I use a ball valve in my main tank, my main discus tank, which had a sump. It wasn't too hard to dial it in with that. You don't need that level of accuracy, but yeah, so probably fine to say ball valve, but really that's what a gate valve's meant for. I've noticed an increase in second-hand tank sales. Could it be energy price related? I must say I've considered shutting mine down. You're not the first person I've heard say that. Several people have called me a madman for starting a tank in this climate at the moment, with the energy prices going through the roof. I know, I'll get 2,500 litres that I need to heat. That's the way to go. So I don't know that I've noticed it myself yet, because I have been keeping an eye out, but I've mostly been looking for big massive tanks. So I don't know. I mean, there are ways to cut your costs as well, because I think we spend a lot of time over providing. So if your house is comfortable for you to live in, chances are it's going to be comfortable for most types of fish that you want to keep there. So, for instance, I mean, if you can do the maths on this, if you keep your tank at 26 and you drop it to 24, I very much doubt there's a fish on the planet that would care that much that you do that. But that will save you money, because you won't be heating to such a degree. And that goes, if you're keeping your house at 20, you're only heating between 20 to 24 or 20 to 22. And you can, if you see where I'm going with that, there are other ways to save money. So don't just chuck out your thing. Don't chuck your tank away quite yet. Alex, there's still a ways to go. Yeah, but look at it. Look at it. That way. Look at it. Elephant nose fish and knife fish. Yeah, knife fish. So there are African knife fishes. What have I kicked over there? So that might be something that we could keep together. I did love my black ghost knife fish. So I'm interested in the genus. Is it the genus? I'm interested in that sort of thing. So if we compatible knife fishes, yeah, definitely. There you go. Knife fishes are some of my favourites. Wrote an article about them for PFK. Practical Fish Keeping, I think it's called. So Me Witchy Ways. It's a magazine. It's like is it a monthly magazine? I want to say it's a monthly magazine. Crunchy nut cornflakes. Now there's a snack and a half. Right, we're going to bring out the Kaylee wheel again. Big face. This is going to choose the prize. We'll see what we win. If it's a pen, I'm substituting that with keyring. What does that say? It's a pen. We've already done keyrings. I'll give you a keyring as well. Let's have another go. It's exciting. They definitely want me to give away a pen, don't they? Right, screw it. We're giving away more pens and stickers. Not pens. Although Phil did say something about pens. Anyway. We'll do another round of key rings. Let's do it that way. So the reason we're talking about this in general, Rebecca, is because of the subscriber tank we've done from a few weeks ago. We're building a tank, a biotope around Congo Tetras, and I'm trying to figure out what falls within that bound that can be. So we talked about puffers, we talked about lungfish, which I'm not getting, knife fishes. So African knife fishes aren't related to the black ghost, but the knife fish in general, just the shapes, the way they move, all that kind of stuff, that's what we're into. Right, we're going to do a final giveaway, and then I'm going to go and have me dinner. But if you do have any questions, Alex is off. Nice to see you. Thanks for dropping by, and thanks for all the inspiration. Kaylee's already won. The gods say that we want God's night. The gods say that more stickers, more key rings. That's what we're giving away. So we'll give away some of them if I get that out of the way. Cancel that. Right. Go. You have to type Megatank as the keyword. Type Megatank. Live in the UK or be prepared to pay the postage. Click some clickable things and I'll send you some stuff. That's all you have to do. Type Megatank. I think Congo Tetras might actually be found with the African knife fishes in the wild. I think that I read that earlier, certainly, but I don't know how reputable the source was. So what I'm asking people to do is join the Discord, jump into that section of the Discord server. Megatank, all one word. Pardon me. And we'll discuss this and we'll figure out what we're going to put in this tank. I think I saw something there. Crinums, Physidans, Nymphea, along with Anubias, turn up as African and Congolese plants. Yeah, I certainly found Anubias and Anubis. That's the Egyptian god, isn't it? Anubias and Crinums. I love Crinums, so that's a good one for me. Megatank, all one word, people. I can see some of you doing it as 2 words. And why wouldn't you? But if you want to win, all one word. A sparsely planted tank with crinums would look cool. Oh, look at this. Jennifer, Noodle Sandwich is making us play for your job. Remember to become a member. Can't have crinums if you go for spotted Congo puffers. Why not? What have I missed? I thought you could have the... No, oh, why have I done that? That's not what I meant to do. I've certainly seen them in very planted tanks. Is it because they bite planks? I'm sure I've seen them in planted tanks. What happened there? Light went out. They bite plants. Oh, okay. Well, we'll need to see. Might be that person that gets them anyway. Expensive snack for them. Right, we're up to 19 users. Eligible users for the giveaway. I think we're about ready to call it. Right, are we ready? First winner is Vince Ransom. Congratulations, Vince. Remember, all you have to do is email me, tell me where you live, what's your name, what's your address, and I'll send you a thing. And next, John Floyd Man 77. Congratulations again, same thing. I don't know why that amuses me so much. Make sure you email across. Last one for the evening before we sign off. I was about to cheer before we rolled it. I didn't need to do that either. Gregory Baldwin. Congratulations, Gregory. I don't think I've seen your name before. Well done. So well done to all the winners. Make sure you email me on that address. Let me know where you live, and I'll send you some stuff. If you want a key ring, well, it is key rings, so tell me what type of key ring you want. I shall try to do what you want. Sorry. This is what happens when I try and read something at the same time as try and speak. It comes out as blah, blah. Yeah, I don't want to be put off like Geophagus. So, what have we got this evening? I think we've probably got Cold Water Aquatics. They usually stream at starting 11 o'clock. You've got Corvus Oskin streaming right now as well. We've got... Why can't I see Cold Water Aquatics? Yep, so they will be streaming in a few minutes. If you want to continue the Fishy journey, but not on Discord, feel free to go over and have a look at them. I'm sure the traitor Scott will be putting a link into the description and into the chat any second now. If you don't want to do that, but want to hang out, share some pictures of your fish, join in the discussion about the subscriber tank, come along to Discord, which is not there, it's there. Once I've had my dinner, I might pop by. But other than that, I'd like to thank you all very much for your time this evening. Sorry if I got annoyed earlier and shouted at people. But stop saying stupid things and then we'll all be fine, won't we? And with that, I'll bid you adieu. Thank you very much. See you later.